We are live. We got Chris Bellman, Kevin Gray, live out of Roundtable. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good evening.
This is a big show because I don't think we've ever very often had two, and I will say from the people that buy records and watch this show and are on the forums or on the posts and Facebook, you guys as master engineers are the living legends of this industry in the mastering engineer realm. And we have Kevin Gray and Chris Bellman on. So thank you, gentlemen, for doing this. I wanted you both on. War stories, Chris? What do you think?
You're going to try, huh?
We can try war stories, but I really wanted it, from your perspective. You guys have been doing this for, sorry, Kevin, probably for as long as I've been alive, or pretty close, right? A long time, which gives you, the experience you have, and Chris, you as well. Lots to talk about, and I know a lot of the viewers, and if you're a big fan of the Rhino Hi-Fi page on Facebook, and of course the Rhino Hi-Fi, there's a big title coming out, guys, September. Buckingham Nicks, both cut by Kevin Gray and Chris Bellman from the original master tapes. So I know a lot of viewers, a lot of people in the forums are excited for that to come out, to do their Gray versus Bellman shootout.
Yeah, well, what they don't know is we did it simultaneously.
Ooh. Would you ever, I know you guys, you were asking me before, and I put the thumbnail up, I put the Van Halen thumbnail up. You're like, well, why'd you put that one up? Well, you guys both cut that, but that was such a long time ago. I guess one of the things too that viewers need to probably understand is that sometimes this is a long time ago you cut certain albums, so a lot of that memory is probably not there until if you get your notes out of the closet or whatever it might be, right, Kevin? If you're to do that, right?
Yep.
And then when you're recutting a record, obviously you're going to sometimes use those notes as well that you might have used 20 years ago. Chris, is that what you would be doing?
Yeah.
So really,
sometimes,
do you guys ever want to not master any longer? This got to be the most greatest job in the world.
It's pretty good.
It's love the enthusiasm, Kevin.
Well, for Chris, tell the folks too. Your big break in mastering. Let's just sort of go back a little bit. Like, where did it all begin for you?
Wow, I think I've told this story a few times, but I'll do the short version. 1970s, mid 70s, kind of wound up doing records, a lot of Motown records at the time, and Rick James happened to be one of them. And we kind of hit it off, and he had a lot of hits after working. We had a lot of hits after working together, so he kept coming back, which is always a great thing. So that's kind of my beginning. Specifically, like that record Super Freak kind of put me on the map. So
do you still listen?
Short version.
Do you still listen to it?
No. But I turn it up when it comes on the radio.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah.
So nowadays too, we talk a lot on these shows, Kevin, about equipment. The equipment that you guys were using, let's say 25, 30 years ago versus today, how much has it changed in terms of affecting the overall quality of a record being cut these days? Who wants to answer that?
Your turn.
Well, my system is pretty similar to what it was 20 years ago, other than having things like capacitor upgrades and stuff like that. So, yeah, and I think that's probably true of yours too, right, Chris?
Yeah, I would think.
And they're both very custom systems, unlike anything else.
Yeah, a lot of maybe power supply upgrades have changed. Some cabling, probably over the years. Converters, when Digital LAN happened, we went through a myriad of converters. We're trying to stay as up to date as possible. You gotta be cutting edge, or you're not going to make it. No pun intended.
No, that's for sure. So in terms of, we always have these arguments too, digital versus analog, right? Are you guys really, is it just the best sounding for you, or is it you true analog, true audiophiles in terms of the overall source?
They both have their advantages and disadvantages. I know that's sounds like a cop out, but it's true.
Well, you hear that a lot, right? You can only get the warmth out of the analog or whatnot. But I mean, I think you guys have seen or heard both over the years, and I'm sure you have arguments for both digital versus analog, and it probably depends on the recording, right? So something that's recorded digitally probably would sound pretty damn good digitally remastered, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. I think it depends on genre. It depends on who did the recording. It depends on who mixed it. There's a whole lot of things that come into it besides, gee, should we use digital or should we use analog? Generally, probably the decision happens with what was the original. If it was analog, then that's what we're using. If we could get it, if we can't, then we make other arrangements.
But tell the folks that's not really a decision sometimes of the master engineers, whatever sort of they give you at times, right? So it's like, yeah, if they give you the file, they give you the file, and you just do your best with that, I would assume.
Yes.
So do you have, okay, so we're talking war stories, Kevin. You got to tell me the hardest record you ever cut before in terms of, I guess, having to go back, maybe the quality of the tape, maybe splicing it, something like that really took you a while, and you're really proud of now looking back on it, the amount of sweat equity you put into it.
Well, I would say that would probably be in the early stages of my career. Like I remember Billy Joel Piano Man, the levels and the EQ and everything were kind of all over the place on that thing. And I think we made it sound a whole hell of a lot better than what the tape sounded like when it came in the door. Another example would be New World Record by ELO. There's a lot of work involved in getting that sounding as good as it does.
How about you, Chris? Do you remember one that's like, oh my gosh, wow, that was a lot of work?
Nothing comes to mind specifically. Well, maybe Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, the original. That was a de-essing nightmare, to put it mildly. And the problem was that she liked her S's.
Interesting.
So she kept not approving anything that I did. So, yeah, it became a matter of finding the compromise.
Those damn Canadians, they're so pushy. Jeez. Oh, that's so funny. So now, Kevin, I know you do a lot of the Blue Note series as well. We had a viewer that asked, if you cut it mono or stereo, is it your choice? I guess it's probably not, right? It depends on I guess Blue Note.
Joe Harley on the Tone Poets and Jim Kurzman on the Classics series. They make the decision on whether to use the mono or stereo if there's both.
Okay. So there'd be sometimes you'll be asked to do both, and it's not up to you ever.
Not very often.
Again, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Blue Train was one of the few where we did the stereo and the mono.
Which one? I think, and I know we've had this conversation about Blue Train before. Do you like the mono better than the stereo on your cut?
It's funny. I usually go for the stereo, but on that particular album, I like the way the mono sounds better.
I knew that. I remember you telling me that before. That's interesting because you're normally a stereo guy from my recollection from the time we've been chatting. And how about you, Chris? Are you more of a mono or stereo guy? Or it depends on the record?
I think it depends on the record and whatever gives the listener the right emotional response, if you will. I remember an old early Who record that I was working on with Classic with Hobson, and he had full run of the archive, and he found a early stereo mix of Magic Bus, and he also found a mono mix of it, and the mono mix was so amazing. It blew the stereo out of the water. It was mind-boggling. So he wound up actually releasing that as a 12-inch with the stereo and the mono back to back.
And that's a classic. So and that's a Classic Records.
Yeah.
What were
probably
you hearing,
not available anymore.
What were you hearing differently though from those cuts that they weren't on the stereo?
The balancing that they did in the mix was just so much sweeter. Because they were, in those days, they were still learning stereo, right? So they didn't really know how to do Phantom Center too well, and so the focusing that they had on the mono was amazing, and somehow it it had depth information that I couldn't figure out how the heck they did that. But it was mind-boggling. But that's probably the best example I could think of. Like Kevin, you know, we're at the mercy of what we're given to work with. So you do the best you can.
Did you ever get to
You
work
don't make that
Shel?
decision?
Did you ever get to work with Shel Talmy on
No.
any of that? Oh, okay.
No.
Me either. I just wondering.
Yeah.
Here's a question
name.
for you, Kevin, Tublandia, Jefferson. Blue Chain was a dedicated mono, right? It was before RVG was doing stereo fold downs?
No.
Okay.
There was a stereo tape and a mono tape.
So two separate.
And we cut both of them. And let's see, how did that work? They put out the bonus LP that had a bunch of outtakes with the stereo, and then they put out the mono as a separate release, but it all came out at the same time.
Chris, Jagged Little Pill, the original, was it mono? Do you remember it was a mono? Or sorry,
Oh, no,
mono. An all analog cut the first time around?
That was the multis were ADATs.
Okay. Oh, geez.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it was mixed to half inch per my request.
So you cut them from half-inch tape then?
Correct.
There's the answer, High Fidelity. Thank you. So
that was a long time ago.
That was that was what, 1990, mid 90s when that came out. Yeah. That was one of the, I think at the time we had, as a Canadian, especially Canadian females, we had Shania Twain, we had Alanis Morissette. These women were, you know, selling 40, 50 million copies of these. I guess it would be more like the CDs in the mid 90s. Incredible at that time. And it's funny because in Canada, we have to have a certain amount of content on the radio that are Canadian artists every hour. So, of course, Shania Twain, Alanis Morissette was constantly being played through, right? Because in Canada, you don't have that many artists that have those big hits. So it was quite interesting. They got overplayed over the years, that's for sure.
Katie Lang.
Well, of course, and Katie Lang.
Classic Craving got played.
You go back a few years, and you got Neil Young, and you got
the Guess Who.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm wearing this too. I mean, the Tragically Hip were a huge band in Canada. It's a weird one too because they really never made it in the U.S. the way they thought they were going to, and it was there's a lot of their songs, really catchy songs, but a lot of the lyrics are more political and more based sort of Canadian sayings and Canadian sort of stories, which I don't think would catch on with an American audience as much. So I think that was part of it as well. It's really too bad because they're a great band, great to listen to live. That's for sure. So, Chris, Rush. Someone said Rush. You did some Rush. Another Canadian band. No one did Rush?
No, our studio did.
Okay. It was the studio that did that.
Yeah, depending on which record.
Well, I already know this because I asked Kevin this before. His dream records to cut would be the Beatles. Clearly, we know that. But I haven't asked you this, Chris. Would that be the same for you?
Zeppelin.
Ooh.
Some Zeppelin catalog, catalog.
Hang on. Should I bring Jimmy Page on now so we can get him to release the tape? Should we see if he's on the backstage? Yeah. Jeez. Well, that's been the big one as well, right? I mean, everyone, all the Rhino hi-fis that are out there. I mean, the Jimmy Page Led Zeppelin catalog, of course, that would be the ultimate to have that on a box set, even cut by both of you guys would be unbelievable. Let's say that would be everyone's dream, that's for sure. So, Chris, like with you, how long? Like, tell the folks, like, how long have you been at the Grundman studio for?
Since '85.
And then before that, where did you where did you do before the Grundman?
10 years at a guy named Alan Zentz Mastering.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
we were both in those big old high-rise buildings on Sunset.
Yes, we were. Yeah. And Alan had a Neumann system very similar to Kevin's, and then so I spent 10 years or maybe like 11 years on a Neumann cutting system, and then Bernie had Scully's, so I had to kind of relearn the mechanics slightly.
So for you guys as MASH engineers, I mean, you were brought up in sort of the real analog, really no digital, no computers, no software. So how was that transition when all of a sudden, hey guys, here's Pro Tools, or that type of software? What type of learning curve was that for you? Was that just sort of subtle for you, or is it something you really had to work on?
It was steep at the beginning.
Yeah, like anything, right? Big learning curve. Now it's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, back before we had computer workstations, we had to build 1630 tapes,
Oh yeah.
right? Song by song sometimes. And those were nightmares. They were 3/4 inch U-matic tapes, and they were subject to dropouts and all sorts of lovely things.
They were a pain in the butt.
Yes, they were. And then workstations started popping up, and then things got a little easier.
So that would have been probably around the mid 80s. Is when things sort of
Late 80s?
Late 80s already. Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't that much of it. I mean, I guess at first, but you sort of transitioned into it and sort of like anything else, learned the ropes, and no problem today.
Yeah.
Are you seeing much difference now in technology over the last maybe 5 or 10 years? Like, is it increased even more? Or is it sort of slowed a little bit down on your side?
Go ahead. Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd say things haven't changed that much in the last decade or two.
So what would we be hearing from, let's say you cut something 10 years ago and you recut it this week, Kevin? What differences would the viewers hear on those cuts based on your equipment today, you feel?
Well, there's a couple of different factors there. I mean, if it was originally a digital thing, we wouldn't be using 1630s anymore.
Yeah.
So, it depends. I mean, it's kind of cool that a lot of stuff was still mixed to like 1/2 inch analog, even in the digital era. But there's a lot of stuff that they can't even play anymore, you know? I mean, the CD is like the only thing that exists.
Yeah, early digital formats had dropouts as they got older and older, and they're just unusable.
They wouldn't play.
Oh wow! Yeah. So here's how I look at it. So you guys were both, pre-CD and of course post-CD. So I mean, you're cutting records, you're doing all that. Mid 80s happens, let's say 1984, 85. Where you're all of a sudden going, holy crap, the CD thing is really coming on. What's going to happen with my job, or what's going to happen with vinyl? Was that something in the back of your guys' mind at that time in the mid-80s, just with the onset of CD and the convenience of it and everything? Were you worried at all?
It was just another format that we had to learn how to produce properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because
we were all cutting from 1630s and CDRs and whatever,
So just bringing in newer equipment for that to make it into a CD format at that point, I would say in the mid 80s.
Good old Harmonia Mundi.
Yeah, right.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
No,
it was one of the systems.
Well, then what year did they get into the whole CD loudness wars? Was that sort of a record label thing to make it sound louder to get more people to buy? And what was the reasoning behind that? Like, why would they do that?
I don't think there was a conscious reason.
Okay.
It just sort of started. People started making louder, and it became, and everybody was trying to top everybody, kind of like, I could get louder than that guy, and it kind of got out of hand. Clearly.
Yeah.
Well, we know that vinyl overtook CDs and sales last year, the year before, and I've read reports and I've read where CDs are coming back again. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I guess the sales will say, but I think vinyl's here to stay, just because I like the tangible aspect of vinyl more than a CD. CD is more of a streaming format to me, because you just press play and you can forget about it. At least with a record, you put it down 13 minutes later, you got to go and get off. You got to go and get up off your chair and listen and flip it. We know that, right? Absolutely.
Right.
And I had another question for you. I know someone said this here, tubes versus SS mastering. So Kevin, when you got your all tube, right, that you can convert to, when do you feel you need to do that? I know you've done that for your own records that you've cut. Would there be any opportunity where you're like, yeah?
That's all I basically use it for. I mean, the War greatest hits thing, that was just a fluke. I just wanted to try it out and see how it worked and see if anybody would notice a difference and say anything. And it just flew right through and nobody knew anything. And then 2 years later, I opened up about it. But yeah, no, I'm saving that for my recordings, for my label.
Any tell the folks when the next one will possibly be? Is it going to be next year?
Yeah, it'll be next year for sure. I don't see how we could possibly get it out this year the way things go. But,
Yeah.
we're talking to a few different people. We haven't got anything nailed down, so to speak.
Well, it all takes time, that's for sure. And that's the thing about what the viewers, I mean, I know we've talked about it on my show before. I mean, you guys don't have a lot of control over what you're given. I mean, let's get back to that as well. So if you're given a master tape, you're going to do the best possible job you can mastering from whatever source they give you, just so the folks know. So, I mean, do you find a lot of the time, I know, Kevin, we've talked about this for a lot of the old master tapes from 30, 40 years ago, they're still in pretty good condition, or do they need to be baked, or are they, is there areas where you need to,
Well, everything that was on Ampex tape from the 70s through the 80s, that all needs to be baked. It just depends. I mean, some tapes are just fine,
Chris, or what are you finding?
Very similar. The Ampex stock is almost 100% of the time you gotta bake it.
Right.
Scotch is debatable. You always have to check it, but it usually gets baked. We've had good luck actually baking 1630s and
wow.
DATs just to get some kind of playback out of them. Usually for safety purposes, transfer it. If we get a good bake, we'll transfer it to a hard drive.
That's interesting.
Yeah, different temperature set. We'll have to talk about that.
Here's a question I wanted to, Patrick Lear is asking Kevin. Kevin, as far as your label goes, is it specifically going to be jazz, or do you plan on doing other genres as well?
Well, I've talked about this a little bit. Eventually, I want to do a rockabilly record, but it's going to be mostly jazz.
And you'll normally limit those records. Is it 5,000 per, is the quantity? No?
No, it's just what it turned out on Kirsten's record.
Yeah.
It did amazingly well. Yeah.
I like this one. How many times do you need to bake a tape?
Every time you play it, if it's like, more than a couple of weeks in between the last time you played it, they start absorbing moisture very quickly, and then you have to bake them.
Yeah, I've gotten about a month out of it
sometimes,
but generally you got to rebake them.
So one question Jason asked for Chris, I saw it here. Hang on. I guess, does Chris Bellman master on BG Tube console?
No, it's a solid state custom built console.
There's the answer.
We had a tube driven lathe. We have since retired that puppy because it was too much of a pain. And it's doing good service in another room we built up for transferring without EQ, without anything other than a de-esser basically, and some leveling for pre-mastered things that we receive from other mastering people.
Hang on, there's a question here. I want these two pros to know just about all my favorites and best sounding records are mastered by both of them. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's the thing too, right? I mean, you guys, all these YouTube shows and videos, there's, Chris Bellman or Kevin Gray videos. We have YouTubers that do that. I mean, how does that feel? I mean, that's pretty cool, right? I mean, 5-6 years ago, that wasn't happening. Now the recognition is there. You got the different forums that talk about a Bellman cut versus a Gray cut, versus a Grundman cut. So I mean, we get all of that. It's pretty cool to be able to have you guys doing this to compare as well. I mean, you probably don't see it the same way as us do. I'm sure it's like, okay, cool, enjoy it, right? You don't go into the comparisons and the shootouts and get yourself too worried about that, or too worked up about it.
I think all the fanfare, if you want to call it that, is hopefully a compliment to us. We enjoy it. Try not to let it influence our day too much, but it's fun.
Well, I've said this to Chris, and I think we tend to hear things fairly similarly. Well, as he mentioned, he came up kind of mastering the same stuff, same types of, rock and roll records and things. But yeah, I don't think our approach is real different.
Probably not.
Well, you're into jazz too, Chris. When you sort of when you're a younger man too, weren't you? So I mean, it's you sort of have that side
although
of it.
I must admit, I think Kevin does way more jazz than I do. But that's just the luck of my draw, I guess.
Yeah, the way the cookie crumbles or whatever.
Well, just
Yeah.
whoever. Here's a tape, guys. You know what I mean? Did you
Yeah,
both
who can
know?
do it? Who can do it fastest?
Did you guys both know that you were doing Buckingham Nicks? Did you like, hey, Kevin? By the way, I'm doing no.
Nope. Nope.
Interesting.
I believe Kevin cut it first.
Yeah, and they said we need to pick up the tape. It's going over to Grundman's, and that's all they said, and they didn't say
wow.
why.
And you just left it at that.
Yeah. So we don't really know why they did that.
Well, you can
Unless
compare.
They just wanted slightly different flavors. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of fun though. I mean, well, I think it's a fun thing now. I guess they'll sell more records that way because they want the gray cut, they want the Bellman cut,
I think that played a part.
Right?
And they were promoting the record, and Kevin and I talked about that too. We feel like we missed the boat on our name usage.
Right.
When you say that, you think when you say miss the boat, what do you mean by that?
Making money off our names.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. There you go. That's a good idea.
Promoting their product with our names.
There you go.
Which is, it's always been that way, but seems a little more prevalent lately.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time to renew the contracts, boys.
No contracts.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's very smart marketing on their part, that's for sure. Well, do you guys want to take some questions from the viewers? Are you up to that?
Try.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay, guys, give them your best. I know there's a ton that have gone through. Michael Lynch is asking this one, and I do apologize to both of you because it's probably been like a million years since you did the Van Halen. Do you remember at all your approach on the Van Halen self-titled? I know I put it in the thumbnail. That's probably why. And I know, Chris, you asked me, Steve, why'd you put that Van Halen up? I said, well, both of you guys cut it. I liked the record and thought it looked good on the thumbnail. That was the reason.
So we are talking about the first self-titled push sale. Okay.
Do you remember? So this is the thing you can tell folks. Long time ago. Hard to remember sometimes, right?
I mean, that was 2000. That was literally 10 years ago when I touched that tape.
Right.
So all I know is I had Eddie staring over my shoulder. So, I had some external influence. So what I would have done on my own might have been slightly different than what it ended up.
What was the story? I think when you were on my show before, I think you told me the Van Halen story, and then Eddie wanted more bass and you wanted less, or was it vice? There was
Vice
some
versa.
Vice versa type of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah. And it was his. I mean, it's his song, it's his band, it's his music. I get it, but you're probably sitting there, Eddie. No, man, come on. I want it to sound a little bit. It's a tough.
Well, to Eddie's credit, he said, okay, do your thing and let me hear it. So I did it, and he didn't like it. He made me back off on the low end. Because he felt like it was upstaging the guitar, which makes sense.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I guess those guys are pretty competitive too, right? Clearly.
Well, they had a formula, and their comments were, "Why mess with a thing that worked before? It sold millions before. Don't stray too far."
Yeah, exactly.
So.
John Loper's asking you a question, Kevin. What shape are the Dark Side of the Moon masters in when you cut them in 2003? And you cut those with Doug Sachs, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they were flawless. There were no issues with the masters on that. They didn't require baking or anything else. I mean, yeah. For some reason, they had assembled both sides onto a 14-inch reel rather than having it on two 10-inch reels. But weird.
Did you? Okay, you were with Doug at that time. Was it Joel Guthrie? Was he supervising that project as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No, you're thinking of James Guthrie. No,
or James Guthrie.
Sorry. It was James' assistant, Joel. Oh. I don't remember his last name, but
I'm getting them all confused.
He was in on it, and Tom Pisano, and there were a lot of people on that mastering session.
I mean, you've been doing this for, well, almost, has it been 50 years plus? Do you have a record, Kevin, that really stands out and says, man, this is my favorite?
Wow.
There's got to be one.
That one would be pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris. I know.
Oh man.
I know.
I'm thinking.
You've done 2 million records, so it's pretty much like, oh man, what are you doing,
Really?
Jimmy Westman?
Geez. I don't know. Let me think on that. It'll come back to me.
Okay, so someone's asking about the 33 versus the 45 RPM debate. I've had other people on the show, other master engineers on the show, saying, "Well, just buy the 33 and just turn it up turn it up a little bit." I mean, is that is that solid advice? I mean, it really
no. You're going to get more intergroove distortion, with the 33 than you will with the 45. If for no other reason than it's the sides are shorter and it's finishing farther out from the center. But 45 does have a slight sonic advantage, but I don't think it's like night and day.
How about your take on the 45? Yeah.
Ditto.
So I mean, you guys don't make those, and that's another thing these folks really
right.
You guys don't make those decisions. I mean, you're mastering it. It's up to the record label to say, "Hey, we're going to put it out 33. Oh, we're going to put it out 45." There's no bearing on.
Occasionally, I will pipe up about that if they have an album and they've split it up into 4 sides and they're all like 12 minutes long. I like it. Well, why don't you try 45 and just see how you feel about it?
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll go for it, and sometimes they won't.
Right.
And so your process is when you get that master tape, and I know we've talked about this before, just want the folks to realize the process is, as master engineers, you guys will make a digital copy first. Most times, or no?
No.
Interesting.
Not unless asked.
Okay. So there you go.
You mean to work from?
No, just to get sort of an idea, like make a copy of it first to get an idea of how it sounds. No.
Nope.
I'll sometimes run a simultaneous analog pass at the same time as I cut the lacquers for digital downloading and that sort of thing.
Someone else is asking. I know we're going to get this. The Alanis Morissette, you said it was cut from an analog tape, Chris, right?
Yes.
But was it recorded digitally? I believe it was, right?
ADATs.
There you go.
That's a early digital format.
There you go. Good answer. You
Another
probably
not very, what's the word? Beefy.
Unforgiving.
Yeah. Here's Bill here. He loves the 45 format. The sound of Sam Cooke, Patsy Cline, and Elvis is awesome in 45 RPM. I guess it depends on the genre too, right? I don't know. That could be.
Those are probably all Chad titles, right?
Yeah. Do you still listen to the old stuff, Kevin? Like the old 50s music at all? Still stuff that you
every once in a while.
Yeah. If you have time, right?
Right.
I mean, we listen all day to stuff, so sometimes silence is golden, right?
So what? You're not coming home and blasting your stereo system, and no?
Not too often.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. This is when I saw it go by. Chris, do you have a favorite cut of Kevin's? Kevin, do you have a favorite? I know. Hey, I warned you for the last week. These, it wasn't going to be this easy.
I like what he's doing in his recording studio house.
Yeah.
That stuff's brilliant. So
thank you.
I'll take any of that.
Appreciate that. Gosh, I don't know. Chris has mastered so many great titles over the years, really. I mean, I can't think of one that sort of sticks out in my mind. Yeah.
Tough question.
See, for me, Chris, it's the Tom Petty's.
Oh, there you go.
Those ones. I mean, I'm a huge Tom Petty fan, so listening to your cuts of Tom Petty blow me away.
Which specific?
Full Moon Fever.
I redid the whole catalog.
You did, but for me, I'm a Full Moon Fever guy. I love that record.
Yeah, that's a good record.
Such a good record. Any memories of that one at all? Do you want to share?
Not really analog.
There you go, analog.
Yeah, analog. I mean the what's the one that Wildflowers? That's what I'm thinking of. That I don't know. Have I told that story on here before?
Well, you can tell it. I want to hear Tom Petty's stories. Go for it.
Oh,
it's such a great record.
When Ryan Uliate, who is Tom's engineer since Highway Companion, Tom and him and the rest of the label decided they were going to redo his catalog. So Ryan goes into the vault and starts looking for tapes, and he finds the time to do Wildflowers, and he finds the tapes, but they're all unassembled.
What? They just assembled them in a workstation, huh?
They assembled them in a workstation, and then that record was cut from a digital file. So we said, well, that doesn't fly, and we spent a week putting that tape back together from the originals, using the CD as a reference for the spacing and the edits and all the stuff, and we pretty much dialed it in. And everything we've cut since on that, since whenever we did that, 2015, I think, 17, I think, has been from that tape.
Another one I noticed.
Nobody's ever heard that tape until we started using it.
Getting a lot of Chris Bellman Harvest, Neil Young Harvest record. Now that sounds incredible.
That would be one of my favorite of your cuts. Yeah. That would be right up there.
Yeah, that's a good record.
Chris,
well recorded, well mixed.
Exactly. Years ago, Chris, I did a shootout of yours versus the original versus I think I think Nautilus does a copy of it, the half-speed copy of that from years back as well, and definitely loved how yours sounded compared to the other ones. That's for sure. I think it was Lee Hulko did the original cut or master on
I believe you're right.
Yeah. Still, like you said before, an outstandingly recorded and produced record. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one question here, and it sort of slipped by me. I think PB Thal had something. Have either of you had a project done your very best and realized you could not do better than the original issue? Interesting question.
There's pretty much always something you could do.
Yeah.
Even if it's relying on the better pressing that you're probably about to create versus what it was. And then, of course, our equipment is, like we discussed earlier, has had a few upgrades. So it's kind of a win-win as long as you do your job right.
Right. I agree.
There you go, PB Thal. Answered your question. Just looking at other questions here. Hang on. What's this? I saw this lady. Is there any truth to the fact that Eddie Van Halen didn't want a lot of bass in the mastering? I think you already went over that.
We kind of talked about that, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
It's truth to that.
It's truth to that. That's a true story coming from the horse's mouth.
Well,
Chris, you're not a horse. I shouldn't call you a horse.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I like this one though too. Bardo, Ken, do the master tapes really lose sound quality with age? Like, what are your thoughts there? I've read that in many different forms.
Kevin?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe to some very, very, very small degree, but if they're properly cared for and they haven't been played to death, I mean, that's an issue on tapes that have been played 100 times. But other than that,
I've worked on projects on tapes where, and I will not name them, so don't ask.
Not asking.
But I had worked on a specific project, I don't know, 10 years ago, and then I had to recut it for some reason, and I got the exact same tape back, and it did not sound the same.
Yeah, I did have that happen once. Yep.
So it is possible. But to be fair, I don't know if that tape had been played, 30 or 50 more times between the time I had it and before. There's no way to know. So I think storage is key. Like Kevin said, storage is key. And playing it back on a machine that's not abusive to it is another key component.
Here, Mazzy's got a question for you guys. With the rhinos, do you guys go for what's on the tape, or the emulate the original releases? No, Kevin, of course, you do the hi-fis. You're doing a lot of the other rhinos, Chris, and of course, you're doing the rhino reserves. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I used to kind of just go for it, but then I got criticized in a couple of forums or reviews for not being true to the original intent, whatever that means, because that's a nebulous thing. But anyway, so I've kind of tried to keep them closer to the original from what I was doing when I started the project.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing, I've been chatting about as well over the years is like, you really like, you hear the original tape, you're not messing too much with what is on there. Obviously there's some EQ changes you have to make, but you're not going wild on those, are you?
Not usually.
No.
I can think
especially if it's a well-known project, you don't want to stray too far.
Right. Yeah, there was one box set that I had to do a lot of EQ on the early titles, starting with a Z. Anyway.
That's a good box set. Well, you get both box sets are great.
The early one, the first one.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of ZZ Top, I didn't
speak of ZZ Top.
Oh,
you did.
Oh, I did. Their bus broke down here in Vancouver. I was at.
Oh wow!
My job brought me to the shop where they were getting it fixed. Their air conditioning blew on it, so got to talk to the main bus driver. He's like, "Yeah, we're going here, and I'm going to some place I can't pronounce." The next day, it's called, I can't remember. It starts with a C. I said, Coquitlam, BC. He goes, that's it. So yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, there you go. So they're touring all around, and they have a few shows here around the Vancouver area. That's for sure.
Have you seen them live?
I haven't. So this is the thing about live concerts these days. It's a financial choice, right? It's, the tickets are so bloody expensive. I mean, I think the ZZ Top here in Vancouver, I want to say there were $300-400 a pop. So, you take you and your wife go out for dinner, and you don't take a cab or Uber and all this stuff, babysitter.
Up to $1,000.
It's $1,000 easy for a night. So you got to be a huge. I mean, I'm a great big fan of ZZ Top, but am I that big of a fan where I want to drop $1,000? I mean, gone are the days where I'd go to U2 or when Pink Floyd came in the early '90s, and it was $20 ticket. It was fun and not very expensive. I mean, those days are gone. That's for sure.
Yeah. True.
Do you guys still go to? I mean, I know Kevin, you do. Do you go to many live concerts at all, Chris? Like, you still doing that?
Not too often, to be honest. Jazz clubs occasionally, but
yeah, I know Kevin does that.
But I don't like big arenas anymore for a myriad of reasons.
Well, the acoustics are awful in live shows.
Yeah.
My first experience of a live show was Alice Cooper back in 1985 or 86, and I was 12 years old at the old Winnipeg Arena. If anyone is from Winnipeg will know what I'm talking. Dane's there, he'll know what I'm talking about. The worst acoustics. And I was 12 years old, and I don't know what my parents were thinking. They let me go to it. I didn't wear earplugs, and for a week straight, my ears were ringing. I remember my right ear, Kevin, was ringing. I mean, that's bad. Never again. So from that day forward, and I've gone to many concerts, I've always worn earplugs.
Yeah, I even do for jazz shows.
Oh, really?
I bring them with me. I don't necessarily put them in. It depends on how loud it is. But yeah, we just went to a show last week, and it was surprisingly loud.
It depends on the venue, though, too, right? I mean, that's another thing.
And the act.
Fleetwood Mac, Kevin, they're asking about your EQ choices on Fleetwood Mac self-titled Rhino Hi-Fi. Can you answer to that?
No, there wasn't a lot of EQ on it. I mean, that's Keith Olsen, and that guy's one hell of an engineer. By the way, Chris, did he do he did the early Tom Petty stuff that you did, probably, right? Keith Olsen? I think he did the first couple of albums anyway.
Chris is muted. Chris, you muted yourself. He somehow muted himself. There you go. You're off mute.
Whoa.
Oh boy. Whoa.
Sounds like the beginning of Money.
I didn't do anything.
That is.
There you go.
Don't worry, these guys are professional mastering engineers. They
yeah.
Man, don't worry. That was.
Am I back?
You're back.
You're back.
You're back.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, I was asking if Keith Olsen did some of the. Didn't he do some of the early Tom Petty stuff?
I think you're right, and I can't
Heartbreakers?
remember which ones. I think the self-titled possibly, and maybe the next one, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was a great engineer, man. I was
Yeah.
very, he did the Buckingham Nicks too, and
Mhm.
yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy was
That
very,
tape smokes. That's a great tape.
yeah.
Kevin, you excited? I guess, Chris, you're excited for the Buckingham Nicks release? I mean, it was hardly available on vinyl for years, right? The original was
Right.
the only thing we could get. I have that. It was priced a lot. I mean, it's going to be, I think that's going to be big. I mean, does that mean that they're going to go back and tour together, Lindsay and Stevie, and do some concerts?
I'm hearing
that would be, would that
Are
be,
you?
Yeah,
would that be interesting?
That would be.
believe it when I see it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's good marketing hype if they could. I mean, but they sold out your hi-fi, Kevin, the 5,000. They're on their unnumbered batch now, and I know someone sent me, Chris, on on Amazon. It shows how many orders of everything. Over 5,000 orders. This is a few weeks ago of your cut as well, just on Amazon. So this thing is. Yeah. I mean, I haven't confirmed any of that with Rhino, of course, or with Patrick Milligan, but yeah, that's quite interesting.
Mine's cheaper. Sorry, Kevin.
Well, someone had mentioned in one of the posts, "Oh, is this going to be a Bellman gray steel cage match?" I'm like, no, I don't want to get to that. I mean, these guys have known each other for decades here. That's for sure. No way.
And we've been good friends, recently in the last few years. I was trying to remember, Chris. We first met at that thing down at Capitol, where we were interviewed by Fremer. With Bernie and you, me,
Bernie and somebody else. Yeah,
I have that video, Kevin. You sent me that.
Yeah. What year was that?
Early 90s.
No, it was 2000s.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Because I know I was up at Acoustic. I was still at Future Disc in the 90s. Anyway,
Fremer was his usual amusing self.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's when I first met you.
Okay, John Bandy, this is a good question. Kevin, Chris, can you please explain what smiley-faced EQ is exactly and what EQ parameters are affected? In addition, what exactly is mid-range scoop? Please.
Same thing.
Yeah. Well, when I EQ a record, I always smile.
Because you love the sound of it. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Good question.
Not really.
It just means you got the bass and the low mids boosted up and the top and upper mid boosted more than the very middle of the range. That's just if it were on a graphic equalizer, it would be a smiley face.
Yeah, the curve. Yeah.
Well, that's again, we're going back to the late 70s, early 80s. Half speed mastered Stan Ricker stuff was EQ smiley face, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We've gone through that.
But mid-range scoop is the same idea.
Hopefully that answers your question, John Bandy. There you go. You probably get asked that a lot. Probably people email you that all the time.
Yeah.
Not me.
No.
No.
Well, I don't think it's.
I see someone asking me about Tool reissues. I see on there.
Hang on. Yeah, I saw that somewhere too. If you can see the question, just read it out, Chris. I can't.
When will those Tool reissues come out? Directed to me. I haven't the foggiest. I was supposed to be doing that 3 years ago. So, and we did a couple of albums, and I haven't heard from those guys since. So I don't really know.
And it's not you would know anyways. And that's another thing too. You guys don't get release dates of the stuff you cut, right? And none of that.
No.
So you have no idea.
No, the nearest thing. Excuse me, my dog is flipping out. Kona, hey, chill. The one thing we get is when they need it in the plant to buy. That's pretty much the only date we get.
Yeah,
or I get. I would assume it's the same.
Well, I know with Kevin.
With
Kevin, you had to push some stuff aside for some Rhino projects at one point, right? That one box.
Yeah.
Which turned out really well.
I think that happens a lot. My school, probably Kevin's the same. I want to speak out of turn, but our schedules are pretty
crazy.
What's the word? Crazy, yeah. And they're subject to change at any given moment.
Exactly.
So yeah, if there's a panic and we got to do a recut or something has to get to a plant in a certain amount of time and it's got to ship all the way to Europe, then you gotta adjust.
So, Chris, if you got a master tape in on Monday, do they give you a parameter of when that has to be mastered by and cut to lathe? Like, did the record company say, "Hey, Mr. Bellman, we want it X day"? Like, is it that stringent?
Like I said before, they give us, we need this in the plant by such and such a day.
Okay.
They generally are pretty cognizant of the fact of how long it takes, one, and two, how long the shipping takes. So they build in time generally. Now there are exceptions, of course. So they know that if we need, it's August right now, we need to release this in December.
Okay.
Then we'll be working on it in the next month or so. But if it's pushed out to next spring, then they say, well, slip this in whenever you can. It's not a rush kind of thing. Or so we need it next week.
So during COVID must have been a whole different story, right? Because I mean, everything was, I wouldn't say
panic. Closed too during COVID, an awful lot of them.
Right. Yeah. So there's so much demand. I remember that time too, Kevin. That's when you and I first met, right? 4 or 5 years ago now. I mean, the demand for records, especially audiophile quality records, was through the roof, as we all know. I mean, you must have been getting a lot of phone calls and a lot of opportunity back then, if you recall.
Yes, sir.
And is that dissipated, or are we still seeing that same amount of demand from the record labels?
Still seeing it.
Well, that's good. It means a paycheck, Kevin.
Yeah. It's always nice.
And, it was Christopher Dean that asked the tool question, Chris.
Oh.
I was so pumped and hopeful that Chris was going to get the rest of the tool catalog. He did such an amazing job.
On Fear Inoculum, yeah.
In Fear Inoculum.
That was a good record. That was fun.
It's a great record.
Half inch tape, really well mixed.
Here's Rick's V Spinner. What are your favorite recording studios? Many of them gone now, no doubt, in terms of what has been produced in the 1970s. Who wants to answer that?
Well, I have a favorite that many people have never heard of, and that's Morgan Studios in London, which is where Cat Stevens, did 4 of his big albums. There were so many great records done there. Yeah, look it up. They're long gone.
Still around? Oh, they're long gone.
Yeah, they're long gone, but I think the website is still up. The archived stuff.
Someone was asked.
For me, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
For me, it would be, I just spaced on the name of the studio out in the valley here. Sound City? Sound City, yeah. Some of the early Petty stuff.
It's good stuff.
Probably Keith again down there. That studio had some magic. So
we talked about de-essing, Chris. I mean, and Kevin as well. I mean, we hear that a lot. Is there in essence a lot of de-essing that has to be done in the mastering process, or it just depends on the recording?
Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, it depends on the recording. I mean, some stuff it's just got S's that'll tear your ears off. And the whole idea of de-essing is to not make the S's completely go away. It's to make them so that they'll track cleanly and not break up when you play it back on the record.
Right.
So,
unless you're Alanis Morissette, right, Chris?
Yeah, then there's an artistic problem there.
Right.
I was working on something today that it shall remain nameless, but it was 3-channel. So the vocal had its own space, which was nice. So, and it did need some de-essing. So I was able to de-ess it, of course, without touching the rest of the left and right information.
That
so that was sweet. Yeah. It was a 50-plus-year-old tape too. So
I love this question. This is good. Chris, start. Have you ever gotten tapes and you listen to it and you throw your hands up and go and think, what am I going to do? Go for it, Chris.
Every once in a while.
Yeah. I think it's valuable to walk away for an hour or two and maybe come back and
Exactly.
revisit it. Yeah, get a different headspace going or something.
Totally agree.
And those tapes will remain nameless, I'm assuming too, right?
Oh, nothing came to mind, to be honest.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, here's one. Kevin, 3-channel, maybe Nat King Cole.
And what about it?
3-channel, maybe a Nat King Cole, Kevin.
Well, yeah, I did Nat King Cole from the 3-track tapes up at Acoustic back in what was that, the early 2000s. But the only thing I have done from 3-track at my studio was a Ray Charles album.
You're mentioning Morgan Studios. Someone was saying Alice Cooper recorded with Donovan at Morgan Studios for Billion Dollar Babies in '72.
Oh wow,
right!
That's a great album. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's a great studio. It really was.
What did they have in there? Do you remember?
Yeah, well, kind of. They might have had a Trident board. I'm not sure. But they had a lot of tube machines. I know that. They had Studer C37s and yeah.
Nice.
They had 2 studios at one point, Studio A, Studio B.
And they were in London?
Yeah.
Awesome on the Tone Poets, Kevin. Blue Note series. Andrew Hill's Black Rain is a standout for me. Excellent.
That's a great record.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, sometimes you just have to say, it would be really hard to F up this record. You know, I mean, somebody out there did it once, but, you know, more often than not, if anybody takes any care at all, it's going to come out sounding decent.
Here's a question
I have. It's always fun to have a project where you really can't mess it up too bad.
It's like, phew, no worries. Question I have, I mean, all of us that watch these shows and whatever, we have pretty decent equipment, most of us. Is that a bigger factor today too than it was obviously in the 70s and 80s in terms of when you guys are cutting these records? I mean, that's going to play into it as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have the limitations. You know, we don't have to make it play on a 1995, skip tester. So that makes our job a little easier than it was back in the day. There were far more limitations imposed, on records than there are today.
Well, that's what makes that Robert Ludwig Led Zeppelin 2 cut so popular, right? Because I mean, it was bouncing, it was skipping on those crappy little record players back in 1969. So just too loud, too much bass on those things. It just cut too hot.
Yeah, that record was just cut loud. Just loud.
You can't beat it. But of course, if Jimmy Page allows the tapes out, boys, cut Zeppelin too loud again. Maybe, I don't know. Emulate it.
I think that's asking for it, because it's funny. Chris and I were talking about this last time we went out to lunch, and it's like there's a lot of intergroove distortion on that thing, because it runs way into the center and.
The dead wax on that, and that's funny that you say that. I've talked about this on the show, is so tiny compared to just the 2016 Jimmy Page remaster. Not just to compare,
there you go.
Right? It's just very tiny, and that's of course because he's used up so much of the vinyl, right, to get it
with bass.
It was cut with the bass.
I asked Bob about that once. He just laughed, so I didn't get an answer.
Well, he sold his original test pressing in an auction, and I'll probably get the amount wrong, but it was at least 20 to 25,000 it went for, maybe even more. Maybe someone can comment on that, but yeah,
I believe.
I know, crazy.
This is cool too. University of Vinyl, Tim. Metal from Pink Floyd was done at Morgan as well, Kevin. Most of it. That's cool.
Oh.
Yeah, and their discography is amazing.
Privately owned?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to. Now you've got me thinking. I got to look up. I mean, obviously, it was just. When did it go out of business?
I'm guessing around 1980. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, that's early. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they lost their lease or something. It was one of those deals.
Oh.
When you were working with Hobson at Klassen Records, do you remember the Zeppelin tapes coming in, Chris?
Yes.
I think I was when I was talking to Bernie, he had them underneath his desk for a while. They hadn't come and grabbed them. They're just sitting around.
I think that happened. That happens quite often, actually, on various tapes. Strangely. Yeah, I was in the room listening to the original tapes of Stairway to Heaven, for instance. That was kind of fun,
Yeah.
No
to
kidding.
say the least.
Well, with that as well, because I think that was also they did a 45 cut of those whole album, the whole catalog as well, in that big, that big case. I don't know if you knew that.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and those are going for 25,000 and up if you can
Jeez.
if you want it.
No.
They're one-sided, right? One-sided 45.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. 25,000, you said?
I think 25
Or
grand.
2,500.
Yeah. No. For the whole box, this big
Oh.
road case is $25,000. Brand new.
Jeez.
I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Leland, you guys did know you're both doing Buckingham Nicks. I believe at the top you said, Kevin, you got the tape first, and all of a sudden it was going to Chris at Grundman Studio.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it worked. And you guys didn't
how I
talk about it,
remember
didn't
it.
know about it, didn't exchange notes. It's going to come out in September, and then we'll let the shootouts begin.
I didn't even know that it had been at Kevin's, to be honest, when I worked on it. I found that out after.
Chris, 26,000 on Discogs for the Led Zeppelin road case right now, the 45 RPM. So
That's
do you want
insanity.
one?
That's
Maybe we can.
just
pass.
goofy.
That's, yeah.
I love it when test pressings go for $300, $400, $500, $600. You don't even know that it's a good test pressing. Sometimes test pressings are rejected. It's like
True.
Exactly.
So yeah, 26,000 for the Led Zeppelin road case. I mean, if it was ever come out again, I would assume that price would probably go down because it'd be less demand. I don't know.
Right.
You'd think, but interesting. Yeah, Mazzy was saying 5 years ago he sold that case for $9,500. So that's a big, it's gone up a lot.
Yeah.
Is it crazy to you guys? Is it crazy to you guys to look at some of the records that you've cut and say, look at the values of these things on like Discogs or on eBay? Looking back now, does it sort of blow your mind where things have gotten?
Yeah.
Some of them I wish, do I have that?
Yeah, right.
Do I have that one?
And that's the thing too. Do you guys get a lot of these records that you cut? You might get the test pressing. Like, do you get a lot of the final product? Do the record labels send the master engineers this stuff, or you have to buy it on your own?
I sometimes get them. Sometimes the label. Rhino's pretty good about giving me stuff.
Right.
But other labels used to be better in the past, and now they're kind of holding on.
Yeah, Blue Note's good about it now.
Well, I loved your story, Kevin. Like, I know, Kevin, with your Blue Note, your granddaughter is into vinyl, so I think that's she gets a lot of your pressings from Blue Note, which is really cool. Lucky girl, that's for sure.
Yeah, she's digging it.
And she gets an appreciation of some nice jazz.
Going back to the Fleetwood Mac high fidelity, Kevin, like in terms of someone has mentioned an overall bass on it. I mean, did you remember much about that session when you cut it in terms of the bass and where you were, how your EQs were on that one?
I don't recall my EQs, but I do know that I sort of matched it to the original because I had a clean original, and I always thought it sounded great. So I kind of matched it to that.
It's not that Mick Fleetwood is underrated drummer, but I think if you just listen to Mick's drums on the self-titled or even the Rumors or Tango in the Night, just this I don't know that it plays like it's like a not, and this isn't in a very positive, like a sort of a circus orchestra environment. I just love the way he drums. It's so different than most drummers, the way he plays his drums, and I think that was a big part of Led Zeppelin, of Fleetwood Mac's success was the drumming. Of course, Buckingham and Nick's as well. I get all of that, but that whole band needed to come together the way they did to be Fleetwood Mac. It wasn't just one particular member of that band, and it just the cohesion was amazing.
I liked all of the incarnations of Fleetwood Mac. I really did. I liked the Peter Green era, and I liked the Bob Welch era, and Stevie and Lindsay. It was great.
Okay, Chris, question for you. If you can answer it, great. But can Chris talk about the work he did on the Van Dyke Park song cycle? Was there true mono tapes? Any reason the stereo tapes haven't really been reissued? Mark H.
Wow. Did I work on that? I don't remember. I don't have any details on that. I can't remember it exactly. I'm sorry. I want to say that a lot of that stuff was stereo, but he's saying otherwise, so I haven't.
He was saying, any reason the stereo tapes haven't been reissued? Was there a true mono? Was it a true mono tape? Don't remember.
I'm sorry. That was
fine.
Beyond my brain capability.
Okay, should I give you another one, Chris? This might be beyond your brain, but did Chris recut the Fleetwood Mac back in 2017? He says here, VQR saying the metalwork on the 2012 seems different than the 2017.
Yes, I did. Yeah, they asked me to recut it. I believe I had my notes from prior, and then I probably modified slightly. Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying, Kevin, Peter Green era is a favorite of Patrick's as well. It's up there.
Mine as well. Yeah.
Green Monolishi and all that good stuff.
Man, why don't they start releasing some of that stuff? Rhino. Kevin, you got some sway? That would be cool.
Yeah. I even like.
They put that out. They put that out recently, I think, or last couple of years ago.
Really? I wasn't aware of that.
I'm just saying, like, just redo it in the Hi-Fi or the Reserve series or whatever. That's what I'm trying to say. Get it out there again.
Yeah.
But you have sway with Patrick, Steve.
I have sway.
Apparently.
Well, he's going to be next Friday. He's going to be on the show. We're going to do the next Rhino Hi-Fi, I guess, reveal next Friday morning. So it's only going to be one record, Kevin, not two. That was funny. I was asking this too. Do you guys find it hard to listen to your own work? I mean,
no, not if it came out right.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't like listening to something I did and hear something that I really don't like. that causes me anguish, but luckily that doesn't happen.
What's this one saying here? I don't know if that's. If someone wants to know a hint, well, that would defeat the purpose of me having a show with Patrick next Friday if I was to hint on it.
Oh yeah,
it's something from the 70s. If that's all I'll say, and it's
that
not
narrows it down.
And it's not country music, and it's not Led Zeppelin, Kevin. So there you go.
Okay. Yes, I can vouch for that.
Thank you. Definitely not Led Zeppelin. We do that all the time, right? I'll post, there's a new Rhino Hi-Fi release on the Rhino Hi-Fi page, and I'll put in the comments, Kevin. And it's not Led Zeppelin. It's not, it's not New Order or whatever whatever we want to see, because we all want to see that, and I know everyone does. And I think having Patrick on a million times on the show, I mean, it's stuff that they're working on, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So this Christopher's wife is not happy with me. Not a big fan of the show, because every time he watches the show, he buys more records, and he's actually been banned from buying records because of the show. I was gonna ask him if he's even allowed to watch the Audiophile Roundtable, Christopher. I don't know. I'll have to see.
I feel for him.
This is I'm going to put it up. You don't have to answer it, but between the two of you guys, you're the best engineers in the business, hands down. You guys are the best
Thanks.
engineers in the business, hands down. Thank Christopher Dean for that.
Thank you.
There you go. Do you want to take more? Do you want to take more questions or leave it at that? We're over our hour.
Oh wow.
Right? This is the thing, Kevin. We need Jimmy Page. Look at this. Where I saw that one. He needs to watch the roundtable because that would help. I'd have him on if he called. So next Friday will be the announcement for the next Rhino Hi-Fi, a 1970s album.
Which will not be Led Zeppelin.
Which will not be Led Zeppelin. I promise you that, Kevin. Please vouch for me again.
It will not be Led Zeppelin.
No.
I haven't got any Led Zeppelin.
So I see one other question here. Somebody asked way back, like half an hour ago, about Forever Changes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. They wanted to know about how the tapes were, and they were amazingly great.
That's great.
So, yeah.
What a great record.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
And you cut
These
that.
are the kinds of things that Chris and I talk about at lunch.
So this show is like you guys at lunch, just with me yapping. That's it. Me in your ear.
That's okay. You're invited to lunch too.
I know. I'm invited. The Forever Love. I know I've got the Rhino version, Chris, and that was just cut from tape as well, like the normal $30 one you can buy on Amazon, right? That's a true AAA. I believe so. Yeah. It says it has your initials in the dead wax.
There you go. I just recut it.
Oh yeah.
For whatever reason, they wanted more parts.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
Here, Derek wanted to say that the Kirsten Edkins LP made my stepfather fall in love with vinyl again, Kevin. So awesome, and love the Genesis Atlantic 75s you done, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and Chris too. We didn't really talk about the Atlantic 75 series you did in with I guess Warner and Acoustic Sounds Analog Productions. I mean,
we both did a bunch of that.
You guys both did some great stuff, and those have just been absolutely brilliant and killer albums that have come out from that whole series. I mean, everyone seems to be. I've bought a lot of them as well. I'm very happy with them. That's just been some great stuff. So I wanted to thank you for that.
Yeah, those Genesis records are a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Great stuff.
I hinted though, Kevin, didn't I? 1970s release. That's a hint.
Right.
It's not, and it's not country, Kevin.
Right.
Yeah. Simple. Yeah, Rick's was saying, Kevin, the Lamb and some of the others are the new reference Genesis vinyl issues. They're so awesome.
Thank you.
Jason saying the new CB cut. Hang on, I saw it here. Do you see that one? Of Otis is amazing.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's a good record too.
It's a great record.
Yeah.
Well, we can leave it at that, gentlemen, if you'd like. What do you think?
Whatever you think.
Sounds good to me.
Well, guys, thank you again. We went over our hour. I appreciate the time. Next Friday, I'll do a release unveiling with Patrick Milligan, next Rhino Hi-Fi that Kevin cut, not Led Zeppelin. Chris, come on again. I love having you on.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, gentlemen. It was a real blast. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.